What's the best account size you should trade with top one futures? Well, I'm going to break down the rules and the different payout structures to see which style and which size would fit you best. I made a video about their new Instant Sim Pro account, so if you haven't seen that or you want to learn about those accounts, make sure you go and check those out. But today I want to go over the Instant Fundeds because we were talking about it on stream. It's pretty interesting of saying that I probably want to lean more towards the 50K accounts. I like the 150,000 because you just get more drawdown, right? We're getting now $3,700 of intraday drawdown, max daily loss, and $6,000 overall. So that's a lot of room to play with before you lose that account. So that's why I'd always say or suggest go with the bigger account if you could afford it, because you'll probably keep that account alive longer, especially if you trade it with smaller size or 50K size, but on a 150K account, you're going to have a lot of room to breathe. But let's go over just for the 50K accounts, because that's where we're going to take this video. You can see right now there's no daily loss limit in. I would, of course, always suggest putting one in yourself. The good thing about trading with Project X is you can set a max daily loss rule to liquidate and block your trading for the rest of the day once you hit a certain thresholds. Whether that be, if you get $1,200, you're going to say after $600, cut me off because I'm risking $300 per trade. If I go 0 for 2, I'm down $600. Cut the bleeding, cut it out. The chart's not clean. I'm not feeling great. Whatever the case may be, I don't want to go on tilt and make this a big red day. So close the account for today, right? And then you stay alive longer without taking any big red days. The max trailing drawdown on a 50K is 2,000, 3,000 for the 100K, 4,500 for the 150K. So you do get a little bit more than twice as much of drawdown when you go to the 150K compared to the 50K. Everything's end of day drawdown, which is what I love about it. I just made a video about these Sim Pros, like I was saying. That's intraday trailing drawdown, right? So make sure you keep that in mind when you're deciding what account to go with. A lot of people obviously like the static end of day drawdown, but the same thing is going to apply of a 20% consistency rule, 10 days to pay out, unless you get the instant payout add-on at the end, and max 3 accounts. But what I find really interesting is the payout structure on it. So if you look at what are the max payouts on these sim accounts, you can see we're not going to look at the 25K accounts. I really never suggest anyone trading that small of size, but to each their own. The 50K account, you could take a $2,500 max payout per withdrawal, right? And then 100K, only $3,000, only $500 more, right? And then 150K, $3,500. So there's about a $1,000 difference between the 3 accounts, $500 difference between the 3 together. Let's look at it over here. So I was curious myself of what account should I go with, what almost maximizes gains and make it as easy as possible, because that's what we all want. So for the 50Ks, you can see the profit target is 3,000. You need to make 6% of that account balance. So that's why for the 100K, easy math, 6% is $6,000. So for the 50K, you need to make $3,000 to take your first payout. To take the payout on 100K, $6,000 and $9,000 for the 150K. Okay, cool, great. That seems pretty standard. But for the payouts that we just went over right here, there's not that much of a difference. So if you look at the difference between 50K and 150K, I need to make 3 times as much from the 150K to the 50, but I'm only taking $1,000 more of payout, right? 2,500 to 3,500, not really that drastic, right? So it's almost easier to make 3,000 and take 2,500 out than have to make an extra $6,000 on top of that to get yourself to 9 and only take a little extra 1,000 out, right? If it was like I could take a $7,500 or $5,000 payout, then yeah, maybe that would worth it. But being that it's only $1,000 more payout for an extra $6,000 worth of work, if you want to put it like that, I think the 50Ks are going to be the smartest route for the shortest profit target. Pretty good payout size for that target, right? You're making 3,000, taking out 2,500, but also realize if you go with these 50K accounts and you're doing the payouts like this, your account is at 3,000. You take out 2,500, you have $500 left. You're probably going to lose that account, and to many people that's fine. They're comfortable with that, saying, yeah, but I made 2,500 out of it. I spent $269 on it if you use my code. So you're really still making $2,200 out of that investment, and they're well worth it. They're going to reinvest and do it again. Where when you have the 150Ks, a $9,000 account balance, you take out $3,500, you have plenty of drawdown space to go and probably get yourself another payout. So it really comes down to, are you looking to rinse and repeat and just take a payout, burn the account, and have to go again? Because then the 50Ks would definitely probably line up with you, even though I'm not going to suggest you do either one of them. But with the 150Ks, you're probably going to leave that account alive a little bit longer because you're going to have plenty of drawdown left in to possibly either go get another payout pretty quickly or at least leave it alive for a little bit And you see the price difference with my code with 55% off to 50% off, whatever the case may be. It's always matching their best deal. When I'm recording this right now, $270. Let's just call it an extra $190. $90 difference to go get the 150K. But it's really making it harder to go get the 150K payouts like we were just saying, because I got to make $9,000 now. So what I'm thinking, what I suggest, and again, each do your own research if you'd like. I talk about it on stream all the time. My plan and goal would be get 3 50K accounts, copy them together easily on the Project X platform. So that way I still only really make 3,000, but when I make 3,000 at 3 accounts, I actually made 9. But when I make 9, I can now take out a $7,500 payout because it's the $2,500 per account times 3. So I'm taking a $7,500 payout after making 9 grand. Okay. Where if I just have a 150K account and I make 9 grand, I can't take out 7,500. I can only take out 3,500. So you're still making like the same profit target across the board to 3 accounts versus just doing it on 1. But you could take out way more payout over here doing it on the smaller accounts. But you'll probably lose that account. So that's the caveat to it, depending on if you think that's fine or not. If you're comfortable with that, if I take a $7,500 payout and I lose those accounts, I think I'm okay with that. I could always then put back in $700, buying 3 more, and do it again. So I think it is just pretty interesting of, wow, I would have thought the 150K just because you get a lot of size, you get a lot of room to play with. But the payout to target ratio, for me personally, it seems like it just makes sense to go with the 50Ks because you could almost take out more payout for the same amount of profit target that you were going to make anyways. So that's why I think the 50Ks are probably going to be the best route. And for anyone, right? You don't have to invest all that much. You're investing the least amount of only $270 rather than jumping in for $360, even though it's not the biggest difference. So test your feet in the 50Ks, $270 if you use my code right now. And then you can try to stack these accounts together on Copier. It's very easy. Set in a max daily loss. We'll go back to the website here and you can see if you have a 50K account, you get $2,000 worth of drawdown. For simple math, I would say divide it by 4. Your max daily loss should now be $500. Don't lose more than $500 in a day. That way, if you have 4 terrible days in a row, then you lose the account. But if you have 1 bad day, 2 bad day, you're down $1,000. You're still in the game. You still have a chance to make it back to break even and then profit. You don't want to lose the account in 1 to 2 days because we could all have an off day. We could all have a slow day. That we don't want to be burning through these accounts every single day, which is why we want to, okay, well, with the 2,000 worth of drawdown I have, let me split it up by 4, 5. You can do whatever you want. The more the merrier. The more days you do, the less aggressive you are, which is fine. That if you're going to risk $500 per day, say, okay, well then $250 per trade. I'm going to leave myself 2 tries at it. If I'm wrong twice, I'm down $500. Cut the bleeding there. I'll come back tomorrow and try to make it back. Which is why it was always the good thing of if you have a 150K account, you get $4,500 worth of drawdown, you could lose $1,000 in a day and not even be close to hitting your drawdown limit. So it really comes down to you're buying more room. And I should preface, obviously, with these 100Ks to versus the 150K, if we're shooting for 9,000 on the 150K account, which we would be, and I have $4,500 worth of drawdown, I'd probably be looking to make around $1,000 a day. So it's really not that hard, right? Obviously, it's not easy. But it could happen in 9 days, theoretically, right? Where if I'm risking $500 per day on the 50K and I win every single day, I can get to that 3,000 in 6 days. So it's not like it's a waste of time doing the 150Ks because you're just going to be using more size. So it's going to be easier to make 9,000 than it would be sizing down. But again, I don't even think that comes down to that. I'm saying the profit target to the payout target, I think it's well worth it to go with the 50Ks. It's almost smart. You're going to get $7,500 out by making $9,000 versus only taking out $3,500 for making $9,000 on one account. So do your own research. Hopefully you found value in that. Hopefully you read the rules yourself and you understood this already. But if you didn't, there you have it. Make sure you check out the rules always on their FAQ. If you have any other questions on their payouts, their consistency rule, all that good stuff, I have videos on that on my channel here. So definitely check that out. Make sure you use code Evan so you can get the best deal. They'll always have a deal running on their website, but my code's always going to get you a little bit more, if not match the one that they're running. So I appreciate you tuning in. Trade safe. Good luck out there, and I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.